What are the three most powerful questions you should ask when someone is overreactive, stressed out, or overwhelmed in an argument or conversation?
There's one that I love, and it's by our friend Chris Voss, and he says, "Sounds like you have a reason for saying that." I love that question so much. Sounds like you have a reason for saying that, because there's always a reason that they have for saying it, and they may not feel comfortable sharing it until you ask that question.
Should you say, what is that reason, or just let it sit?
Usually if you let it sit,
They'll say, yeah,
and they're gonna,
I'm feeling frustrated, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling stressed, whatever it is.
exactly. And this one isn't a question, but it's very close to it, and it's, tell me more. What else? If you had to put that in the question, it would be what else. But tell me more is one of my go-tos, because there's always more.
You've got to have such extreme patience to be able to use that, because it could go for hours.
It can, but that's just, it's that metaphor of, you can't pour your glass into a pitcher that's already full. You got to let them pour it all out before they'll ever accept anything new into their mind.
And what's the third one?
The third one would be, are you okay? And you can't do it from a sarcastic point. Yeah, are you okay? It's a genuine, it's an authentic, are you okay? Because so many times I'm not okay. But if somebody would just ask me, that would make me feel a little bit better.
A little bit better. You know what's interesting? If people could learn the art, because I think it's an art of tell me more, they will have some of the most powerful relationships in their life with the people they can use that with. When I'm in a good state and I'm not feeling defensive, and Martha is having some type of overwhelming moment or something's going on, when I'm able to be there for her and just say, what's going on? Tell me more.
Yeah.
And continue, tell me more. Is there anything else? Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Right.
Tell me more about how that makes you feel.
Yes.
What else? What about this? Tell me more. Until she's able to get it all out. And if I can be present and patient, there is so much power in the connection afterwards. And for weeks of just like being able to be there for someone and listen, not trying to fix, not trying to coach, not trying to guide, but just listen and say, tell me more. What else is going on? Is there anything else you want to say? Are you sure? What else? It is so powerful. It will change your relationship for the better. And the hardest part for me is to get out of myself when I'm feeling defensive, to be able to do that for someone else. Because I feel like, I'm not speaking about Martha, but just in general, I don't feel like they're doing that for me.
It's most impactful, this tell me more mindset, is especially when the other person is angry.
Oh yeah.
If I have a conversation with somebody and they're heated and they're mad at anything, maybe they're mad at me, and I say, tell me more. They'll tell you more.
Oh yeah.
And then you let them go, and go, all right, tell me more. I mean, it's just it's therapeutic in a way where you're just taking it in and you're just listening. The hard part is not grabbing a hook.
Yeah, of course. Or not doing it it's hard to do it when you're upset or you're exhausted or you're angry or you're feeling your emotions. If you're acting like a 5-year-old,
Yeah. We don't ever do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course.
That's interesting, man. Then what do you think is the biggest mistake you see people making today when it comes to having challenging conversations?
Not having enough assertiveness in that communication.
Like control, confidence.
Yes. You have the area of controlling yourself. And by controlling yourself and understanding your own triggers, you're better to see those triggers in other people. Step 2 is saying it with confidence, meaning you learn to say things assertively. You say things that are going to make sure they know where you stand, that you say what you mean and mean what you say. That's a whole lot harder for a lot of people, because they don't want to step on toes. They don't want to be very direct. They'd rather type it on that keyboard and put it in a YouTube comment than ever say it to your face. I see a lot of that. But I want to make sure that I give your folks what I find to be the #1 tool for difficult conversations, and how to make sure you have them most effectively, is a frame. And so when you can put a frame around a difficult conversation, you take the difficult out of it, because it's only difficult because we say it's difficult. I mean, other people could listen in on the conversation and go, well, that's not that bad. You just said X, Y, and Z. But to us, internally, we stew on it. And number one on how to have a frame for handling difficult conversations is, one, you tell them what you want to talk about. It can be as easy as, hey, Lewis, I'd like to talk about what you said at dinner on Monday night. Two, this is the big one. You tell them how you want to feel after the conversation.
That's big.
And three, you get their buy-in. So it could look like the first step being, hey, Lewis, I'd love to talk about what the comment you made at the meeting on Tuesday. And at the end of this conversation, I'd love for us to have a better understanding of our priorities. Or maybe it's as simple as, and there's nothing I want to solve, or I'm not looking for an answer. I just need you to know this. Simple as that. Does that sound good? Does that work? I mean, that's the buy-in part. That's the three of that, all right? And they say, yeah. And it's kind of like what you just said. Once you can do that and you get their buy-in, they go, all right, I can stick with this. Now you have the frame. Now you don't have to talk about anything else. You don't have to say, oh yeah, and by the way, while we're on this, I have this other complaint that I didn't tell you about.
Yeah.
Now,
from 3 months ago.
Exactly. Oh yeah, and hey, by the way, stop doing that. You're very focused. It's the idea if you have a million issues to talk about, you're not talking about any issue. You're just saying things to say you said them.